How serious is the country's economic problems and how big an impact will these have on the world economies? It's pretty easy, right? You can quickly miss out on this if you're not paying attention. So this one, what's the error? Everybody knows error is in part 1. Why? What's the subject? Yeah, so why you changing is to are. What is the subject for you to change that? Problems, economic problems. Correct, right? More than one problem. Subject is plural. Change the singular subject to plural subject. Not country. Country is not the subject. The problems is the subject. How serious? What are they referring to? Not the country, but the economic problems. We're talking about the problems, the economic problems having an impact on the economies of the world. Right? So when I say big in impact, what is an impact? Some sort of repercussion. Okay, that can be another difficult word for you. Just an after effect. Right? As a result of the problems, how will the economies of the world be affected? Right? That's what it. So how big an impact it can cause? Meaning, what sort of an after effect can these economic problems have on the world economies? That's what it means. And it can be huge. The impact will be huge. That's what they say. How big an impact? How huge? No, the reason why it is not the definite article the here, because we don't know what sort of an impact it will have. It can be any impact, right? So you understand that an, the indefinite article, talks about any, not specifying the impact here. So we don't know what specific impact it will have. It can have any impact. That's why the right indefinite article is an and not the. It can be any impact and the right article is an. Obviously, because you have vowel, it can't be a, it has to be an. By and by, the fox comes to a stream that ran through the forest and quenched his thirst. Right? So, obviously, as soon as you read the sentence, you understand that the entire context is in the past tense. Right? What are your clue words for that? Ran through, quenched. So, because the entire context is in past tense, what do you need to change? There's one verb which is not aligning itself with the past tense. Right? By and by, the fox came to a stream. So, aligning itself with the context, the tense of the sentence. But, what is by and by? When you say something is by and by, you mean that, before long. So, it's almost equivalent to, some of you said, right, one day. It's almost in that context. So, in this sentence, basically what by and by has different meanings, by the way, in different contexts. But in this context, it means one day, right? Or long before. Because it's in the past tense, it makes sense for us to use long before or before long. Before long, the fox came to a stream that ran through the forest and quenched his thirst. Or one day, the fox came to a stream that ran through the forest and quenched his thirst. Either way is fine. So, by and by means before long, one day. Yeah. Alright, so the error is in part 2. This is a serious question. Brazil's pension system is one of the world's more unsustainable ones and epicenter of its protracted recession. Okay, let's make this question clear. I'm looking at the options and I understand it's phrase substitution. One of the world most, so let me underline the phrase in question. Okay, so till here. Okay, so this is the underlined phrase, which means we need to look at the options and see, hey, do we need to change the highlighted phrase or leave it as it is in the context, right? Option 1, one of the world's most unsustainability. Option 2, one of the world's most unsustainable ones. Option 3, one in the world's most unsustainable ones. Option 4, one of the world's more unsustainable one. Okay, answer is 2. Please explain how. Let us explain. Now, we all know that one of the is followed by a singular noun or a plural noun. Answer that. So, it is plural, right? I need a plural noun number after one of the best universities. One of the best books for practice for bank exams is, right? So, out of the whole lot, so which means, like Kuldeep said, this is one part. Part 2 is when I'm comparing a whole lot and I'm singling out one particular thing. I'm saying out of all of that, this is the best, which means I need a superlative degree, right? Now, all I need to do is, I need to look at my options and see which one of the options is giving me a plural noun number and the superlative degree. I eliminate all the other options. That's it. Let's look at option 1. One of the world most unsustainability 1. This is not a plural number. Out. Option 2. One of the world's most unsustainable ones. It is in line with the superlative degree and it is in the plural noun number. Okay. That's why it's option 2. Let's look at option 3. One in the world's most unsustainable ones. Now this doesn't make sense at all. When I say one in, I've heard expressions 1 in 100, 1 in 1000. We're talking about not verb, we're talking about noun numbers. Fourth one of the world's more comparative form is here. I don't need it. Out. Are you following? The phrase in option 3 is incorrect. One in the world's most. I am only familiar with 1 in 100, 1 in 1000. Alright? So, that's why it's option 2. Period. So, Brazil's pension system is one of the world's most unsustainable ones. The government is considering lower the minimum import price of marble to check over invoicing by importers and the consequent illegal flow of money. Just reading the sentence only, I know something is sounding very awkward. Something is sounding funny. The function of an infinitive is to talk about the intention or the purpose. Here, I don't need intention or purpose. The second sequence in the sentence is giving me that, right? Why are they doing that? To check. See, this is in the infinitive form. The intention or the purpose is given here. So here I just need the simple verb form in the continuous flow because of, considering. The government is considering lowering the minimum import price of marble. For what? What is the intention? What is the purpose? To check. Now the infinitive form is here. To check over invoicing by importers and the consequent illegal flow of money. So error is in part 2. Change lower to lowering. And also initially, if you were paying attention, I had asked the question, what? The government is considering what? Right? So, verb plus ing form functioning like a gerund. Somebody pointed that out. We need the gerund form here. Are you following? Lowering the minimum import price of marble is what the government is considering. Yeah?